G'day, Jon Rasmussen for Southern Cross Combat, and we are back with another interview. Wow, that intro felt super YouTubey. What's up, guys? Joel Rasmussen here. Anyway, we're back. I'm doing another interview, which is, the old bread and butter of the channel, talking to a man who is ready to go pro. I mean, I've been very excited to talk to you for a while. I'm talking to Mr. Jon Aiello, fighting out of the Fight Centre Brisbane. He is a bantamweight gentleman who's making his pro debut. He went 7-1 as an amateur, and he's now making the jump over to professional mixed martial arts. He'll be fighting Perry Smith, who is an awesome fighter in his own right. I think this fight is a great fight for both guys in a pro debut. I think it's a sneaky banger, and I'm very happy to have been speaking to Jon. Jon's a very funny man. He's a great follow on the old Instagram. If you do not follow him already, I'd really recommend it. But also, he's a very funny man, but this was kind of a more serious interview, which I wasn't fully expecting, but I'm definitely not complaining about. Don't get me wrong, it definitely has its hectic and funny moments, which I'm sure you will see, except for all the stuff I had to blur out. But it was really nice to talk to Jon in a very kind of down-to-earth manner, or like a very real, open manner, which I wasn't fully expecting, but as I said, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just going to kind of let the interview talk for itself. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please like, comment, and subscribe. It always helps out the channel. We've got some cool videos on the way with some UFC talent, which I'm very excited for. Those will be coming out over the next following weeks ahead of UFC Perth. But nonetheless, here is my interview with Jon Aiello. G'day, it's Joel Rasmussen for Southern Cross Combat, and ahead of his pro debut, I'm talking to Jon Aiello. Jon, A-I-E-O, all I need is you, Aiello. Thank you for chatting with me today. How are we feeling, Mr. Jon Aiello?
First of all, bros, you gotta call me daddy.
The big daddy ravioli in the nice pink, dude.
Yeah, sure. I'm good. I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm well. I'm very happy to be talking to you. I'm very happy to see that you're making your pro debut. Is that the what is that, the pastel pink? What are we considering that color?
I don't know, bro. I guess pastel would be. Fuck, you're more artistic than I am, so you call it what you want.
What most fighters I think would stray away from the color pink. They might be a bit scared, a bit intimidated. Why? Because your merch is black with pink writing and pink with white writing.
Mhm.
Why the color pink?
Bro, I love pink. Pink's out there. It's flamboyant. It's in your face. It can be annoying. Can be out of place. What else? What else for John Aiello? You know what I mean?
Now, the first time I met you was not from the fighting lens. It was during
Hmm.
the you were doing just an MC role that day, and we were talking about fighting, and you were talking to me about, I don't know how long ago this is now, but you were saying I might go pro next, or I might have one more at the amateurs and then go pro. Now, between that and that conversation, and now you had one more at the amateurs, got the win, and are now going pro. So tell me, why now? Why is it now right to go pro?
I mean, what's really left for me? You know, I had I had the aspirations at the end of the last one. I felt like I showcased a, a wild set of skills. I showed that I can dominate. Excuse me. A truly experienced and game opponent. The only thing that kind of got in my way from getting a finish was probably not being able to throw elbows and not having more time. Because every fight I have, I'm the fresher man at the end of it. So it just seemed like I've got the experience, I've got the tools. I trust my corner, I trust Darcy, I trust Ben. I think at this point, anything but a professional bout would just be limiting my success.
Talking about the corner, talking about Darcy and Ben. Uh, the weird thing about this is the first interview you and I have done, except for those two that we did that didn't come out, when we were
Yes,
backstage at an event. But
you
this is the
never
first,
know.
exactly, many moons later, bro, from the vault, the Disney vault.
Yeah. I
Uh,
actually found it the other day, and I was like, you know what? I might get this out.
I'll accept the collab, bro.
Good man, good
Uh,
man.
but the thing about it is like balancing the conversation we've had off camera and on camera. So forgive me if these are things I've asked you before, and now we're just talking about it on camera. Uh,
Mhm.
you, how long have you been at TFC? There was a switch with you and Darcy coming over to TFC. How many fights have you had with Ben in the corner?
Last one was my fourth. I've been there for 2 years,
Okay, so that's like a
and
perfect split.
yeah, pretty much, yeah, yeah.
How have those changes been? I know that's it's like I'm now asking you to kind of go back 2 years, but
Mm.
still like those developments, having Ben in your corner, how had that been?
Well, look, bro, there's growing pains with any of it, and yeah, as you know, I know I'm kind of just saying this on camera so other people know. Get that? Um, yeah, there were growing pains, and when I first transitioned there, I was so used to a certain way that Darcy and I were doing things, and Ben had a bigger squad and a bigger idea, and was like, "Nah, we do it like this, and you guys like it here, so you've chosen to come here, so you're going to do it this way." And just over time, I've found my feet. I'd like to think I've gained the respect and consideration from Ben. I would say I like to. I know I have, and he takes my consideration and my thoughts in a bit more. I kind of felt like I was a boy talking to a man, and now I kind of feel like he treats me more like a man because I've put myself in that position. So I get more of a say, and I think the last fight was the just scratching the surface on just the I don't know how to explain it. The team, like we're just now it's all ding ding ding. It's me, Ben. Excuse the pun. Ding ding ding. Stocks are up. Me, Ben, and Darcy. Darcy, Ben, and I are a cohesive unit now. We're all on the same page. We know we know what I'm capable of and how to adjust and game plan around certain opponents based on that.
What do you think that development has been for you? You mentioned there, you know, when you got there, you kind of felt like maybe a kid, a boy. Now you feel a bit more like a man. What have those changes been for you personally? Like why are you now a man compared to a boy?
Bro, like wherever I go, there's usually some sort of dislike, or not dislike, a bit of misunderstanding. Because, like I said, I'm quite polarizing, is the term I've heard people use. You either love me or you hate me. And I was kicked out of my last gym. No disrespect, but there was an agree. There was just a not that we ended on bad terms, but they were like, "Look, mate, you're asking for too much of this world, and you're going about it the wrong way. You need to go on your own, go your own way." Fleetwood Mac. And the Darcy came with me, and I just kind of carried that with me as like, I'm a problem. I need to be very careful about how I go about things. And don't get me wrong, I've been pulled up by Ben several times. Him just saying, I don't think that's the way to do that. I don't think that's the way to do that. But he was much more open to discussions and conversations about why I do what I do and why I am who I am. And we've kind of hit this really cool like middle ground between him being like my coach, and I kind of looked at him as like a father figure in the very beginning, but now he feels more like an older brother. And that's I think that comes with taking responsibility for who I am and owning who I am, and not being super apologetic before I've done something. Just being more like, this is who I am, guys. Like, you know, sometimes you're gonna have some shit with John. That's just that's part of the deal. But if you can deal with that, you're gonna get a whole lot of good. Because at the end of the day, I really just want to make my team and my coaches proud, and I want to see them succeed as well.
I'm sure that's hearing about that is something that a lot of people can relate to. I know I can. Like, I'm not gonna act like I walk into every room and I'm like, dude, everyone here is gonna love me, and like I understand that.
Mm.
How do you find that balance? And what is it for you of the like staying true to yourself, but also being like, I know I can come off like maybe a bit intense for some people. Like, how do you find that kind of balance of identity?
I think honestly, like it's been a lot of trial and error. Like I said, there have been things that Ben have pulled me up on. I kind of went about it like so. The kid thing, the childish thing to do is go, there could be something wrong here. I'm just going to do it, and whatever happens, happens. Whereas now I'm more of a no. This is a calculated risk. But if I feel like it's too risky or something would come off the wrong way or could cause issues somewhere, I'm more inclined to actually get the advice of my peers or the advice of Benny. Be like, bro, what do you reckon of this? And I think in becoming the man who takes responsibility for his actions and knowing that I have fucked up before and done things the wrong way, I'm pretty confident that I won't do it again. Especially like, and this is, I've got to say a huge thank you to Ben because he has always said to me, like I've said, we've had lots of conversations where he's been like, what are you doing here? You got to remember, it's not just you, bro. There are people looking at you and they're going to follow you. But he's always said the reason he gives me his time and his grace is because he can see I will pivot. It's all good to make mistakes if you are conscious of them after the fact and make the appropriate adjustments to be a better person. And that's how I live my life.
I was gonna talk about this a bit later in the interview, and we probably still like maybe really will get into it later.
Mm-hmm.
But we've talked before. You've talked about it on other podcasts. We've talked in person about it before. Um, I think I've seen you on podcast talk about why you started. Spark notes of it is the first day you walk into the gym, it's you, Darcy Vendy, and another guy, and you guys essentially PT, and the other guy went home, and you were like, I don't want to go home. That's kind of the spark notes of it.
Yeah, you'd be bang on with that.
So, and you've talked about it before about like that relationship with Darcy is a little bit like, you came in and he was the guide. He was kind of the first face you saw there. You talk about there, Ben maybe saying to you, hey, people now look up to you. What is that like for you? Because you're a man who maybe came into the MMA world looking up to someone that you know in Darcy. How is it to now be that for someone else?
Oh, it's crazy. I was actually having this conversation with myself the other day in the car, just knowing, yeah, when I came to CMBT, I looked at Darcy and I was like, this is the guy. I saw I saw Brenton Mumford and I thought, this is the guy. I saw Josh Kuhn. I was like, oh, these are the guys. Like Diego Pereira came in and sparred once, whooped my ass. And I was like, this is hectic. I want to be like these people. I want to be the people that I want to be the person that people go, wow, that guy's got it put together. He's had a lot of success in this sport. Crazy. He must be doing something right. And I actually had a moment like that a couple of weeks ago. I don't want to throw him under the bus, but someone who started training at the gym pretty recently, I asked him because he's a great guy. I really like it. I'm going to say Brad Masumi. He's very quickly become one of my favorite training partners and one of the nicest guys at the gym. And we were talking like through the showers, like across it. I was like, he was making jokes. Yeah, he was making jokes, and I was like, bro, what's going on, man? Like, I can tell you want to be mates, and I'm keen to be mates, but like, why do you want to like? What is it about me that makes you want to be my mate? And he was like, I look up to you, bro. Like, you've had you're on a 7 fight streak. You're like the epitome of a great amateur fighter. And I was just when he said that, I like was like, fuck, I'm one of those guys now. Like, I don't think I'm anywhere near the level of that. But just hearing that from someone who is younger than me, who's in the sport trying to achieve things, hearing that like the words "I look up to you," fuck, I didn't. You don't think about that stuff when you're in the moment. And then I realized I was like, oh yeah, I'm a 27-year-old man. I'm not a like 22-year-old boy who's like, hey guys, can I do fighting?
I don't mean to use the P word of pressure, because
Mm.
I think pressure can be a word that's associated maybe like negatively, like a negative emotion.
Mm.
But I'll use the word regard, to be held in that regard. What is that feeling like? Is that something you're kind of okay with? Are you okay with being someone's version of the guy?
Badge of honor. Because I think I'm the guy. So I can't be mad at other people thinking that because I've always trusted myself. I've always known I've done all the work and done I've gone above and beyond what other people are willing to do to be the best at this sport. And I'm going to continue to do that. So knowing that there are people who look up to me and go, that's the standard. I, I wear that so proudly. I want to be that guy.
I don't mean to switch gears too much here, but there's some similarities between you and I, John, in many a ways, both personality wise. That's why we get along well, but also in the history. For those who don't know who are watching this, before I was doing the great MMA journalism that I do today, I was playing in a band. I was in a non-successful band, and now I'm an MMA journalist. Jon Aiello was in a much more successful band than I was in, and now he's a pro MMA fighter. Uh, if we can go back to the musician days, the band days, um, have you always been kind of this rambunctious, outspoken performer type guy?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Always been the loudest guy in the room. I've always been the most energetic. I love making people laugh, man. I love making people laugh. I love making people smile. I love making people feel stuff. That's I've always been a performer. I've always been a competitor as well. That's like that's what drew me into fighting. I was training by myself, like watching YouTube videos and training at home the whole time I was with the band and stuff. Like they'd leave after practice and I'd go outside and hit the bag for 2 hours or something. Practice all the spinny, fun shit that I'll never throw in a fight because I'm not Stephen Wonderboy. But yeah, I've always been that guy, man. When I'm in a room, you're gonna know I'm there and you're gonna listen to me, whether you like what I'm saying or not.
At that point, when you're still in the band, you're doing the band thing, and you're training. Why are you training? Did you know you wanted to fight? Was it just because you liked watching the UFC? Like, why?
I'd always had interest in it, but I never had yeah, I'll do that. I always thought it was crazy. I was thinking more so back then. I was like, no, I like it for self-defense and I like it for a fitness outlet, as you'd call it. Um, but all my mates were always like, dude, you take this way too seriously for this not to be like, you can't train for fucking 4 hours a day when you have a job and you're in uni or you're doing the band. Like, that's not normal. No one normally does that just for fun. You're sparring people who train at Puma and like bashing them. What? You're just going to do nothing with it? And I was like, oh, no, kind of not. I don't think so. I think it's just for me, just fun. And then, yeah, I've spoken about it before. I hit a guillotine on a brown belt at my first jiu-jitsu gym, under coach Diego Queiroz, who runs Journey Jiu-Jitsu in Southport. Little shout out for the OG professor. Um, yeah, I hit that guillotine and he shot a double leg on me. And I hit the guillotine and he was tapping before we hit the ground. Like he dove like a tackle. And as we were going, I could feel him and I had it wrapped up. And after that, I literally stood up and was like, yeah, nah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to fight. And that's when I started making plans to go to CMBT to train with Darcy.
With you were playing bass and singing in the band, right?
No bass, just
No
singing.
bass. You were just singing. Okay, in my head, you had an
I would
instrument.
I would play acoustic guitar every now and then, but then we got a keyboard player, so I could throw that thing the fuck away because I love to dance.
Well, were you writing the songs?
Myself and Liam Brett, the guitarist, and Archer Platt as well. He was the bass player.
If we can turn it into a music interview for a few moments, I ask people questions about why they fight, what it's like in there. But I
Hmm.
love songwriting and stuff. What
Hmm.
was when you were writing songs and stuff? What was the inspiration? What type of stuff would you write? How did you approach songwriting?
Um, I very much approached it in a like poetic sense. Like I would just write poetry and then we'd put it to music. Like typically, or I'd like just have a melody in my head and be like, okay, that's cool. I'll keep that, but I'm gonna make sure like lyrics were always really important to me. That's always like I can't listen to music if I don't enjoy the lyrical content of it. So I took that really seriously. It actually kind of like didn't cause issues, but like sometimes the boys would be like, you don't need to take this long to figure out what to say here and where. And I was like, but I do, because this is, regardless of whether I like it or not, this is a reflection of me. So even like the first, we have like four songs out, and like, I don't know, I don't love them because we didn't choose them as the ones to be released. They were the ones that were like the producer guy that we were working with. He was like, nah, these are the ones. And I was like, oh, they're like weak. They're weak sauce, bro. The only one that I'm like very proud of is the twist, because that actually like really represents a time in my life. And I'm not sure if you can tell, it's pretty motivated by or inspired by Sticky Fingers. So if you're talking about what stuff I listen to and like Sticky Fingers back in the day, like you listen to their stuff like These Girls, um, Lime Cordiale. If you listen to them, they've got like On Our Own, Colin. They've got a bunch of like really beautiful songs with they're catchy and upbeat, but the lyrics just tell a story. Holy Holy, they did their last show a couple of months back, and we were there for that. I was bawling my eyes out because such a such a like checkpoint band in my life. They meant so much to me in my development. There's songs I hear and I'm like, oh, I remember that. I remember being this version of me doing this stupid shit, making this bad decision, playing this gig. And yeah, that's I don't know, I've kind of just gone off a tangent then because you've got me. It actually because people don't think I'm still into it, but I love music. Music is I am as passionate about it as I am fighting. I just I love the idea of going hard on fighting right now and then setting myself up where money's not an issue and being able to enjoy the beautiful thing in life that is music.
What do you listen to now?
Same sort of stuff. Um, yeah, Lime Cordiale, Sticky Fingers. Hold on, I'll go through my. Been pumping a bit of grime lately as well. I just want some more Oliver Twist. Um, obviously, Sabby C, she's my girl. She bring out some bangers. I don't know if you've been listening. Recently started listening to South Summit. They're pretty good. Busika, not sure if you've heard of them. Pretty well, of him rather. It is a two piece. Glass Animals. Uh, what else?
Bro's bumping Heat Waves by Glass
Bro,
Animals.
I do like it. I do like that song,
Heat
but
Waves been freaking him out.
yeah. Um, love a bit of Michael Jackson. Uh, yeah, there's just like the Hosier, however you say it. Um, Telenova, I'm not sure if you know them. Julia Jacqueline, Drake gets a feature, bro. I listen to everything and anything if I enjoy it. Got Gwen Stefani, The Strokes. I could go on for days, but anything and everything is the answer to that question.
Do you think Michael Jackson did it?
I'm a strong believer that Michael Jackson was a very troubled man and he would not touch a child. And I work in early learning education.
During that last answer, because the camera's on
Shut the
you.
fuck up.
What? It's all right. I can cut that bit out.
Leave MJ out of it. No, no, he's cool. You're cool. It's fine. Everyone
Dur
has their thoughts. What do you think? What do you think about it?
oh, he definitely did it.
You fucking piece of
But he
shit. I
wrote,
knew it. You
he
can
wrote,
tell.
he wrote good enough music that it's okay. P Diddy didn't write any good enough songs. During that last answer, the camera's on you, so I don't know if I'll like. I'm still deciding how I edit it. But I was smiling really hard because I mentioned about how you and I have a lot of similarities in things we've kind of been through, music into fighting and that type of
Mm,
thing. And you talking about like songwriting and that it was like listening to a mirror. Where it's like
mm,
I cared way too much about the lyrics. There were songs that we just never wrote because I was like, I can't. The riff is too good that I can't write lyrics to match it. So I'm like, I'm not making a guitar piece that's this cool to write dog shit words on it.
mm.
You mentioned a song called The Twist. What is it about The Twist? Was it The Twist or Twist?
It's called The Twist.
What was it? What is it
Um,
about The Twist?
I don't know how to explain it. Just kind of about like having no identity within like your social circle. Like no one really understands who you are, but you put on a facade to be what they expect you to be. Um, but in the end, like you just leave yourself feeling empty and like you're not enough, which is something I could very much relate to. Like I was always towing the line of trying to be trying to be the person that made people smile and laugh even when they weren't really like giving me anything back. I would give and give and give to people and they wouldn't give me anything back. And basically like it's a metaphor. Like you use substance as your exit, like as your escape. Um, but yeah, it's incredibly metaphorical, like in the lyrics. But I felt like back then at the time, I just loved writing it. I didn't write it like it wasn't hard. It really wasn't hard. I wrote it, had the melody. I took it to Liam. I was like, "What do you think?" And then him and Archer, all three of us were just like, "Yeah, no, we can make this. We can make this pretty." And I feel like we did. And that's like my proudest catch pole piece
I
that's
was
out there.
I was gonna ask if we were gonna name the band because I'd been purposely not thus far because I didn't know if you wanted to draw people to it or not.
Yeah,
We can say the name Catchpole.
yeah, for sure. Oh, keep in mind we were all like 15 when we wrote the songs that are out. So
Yes.
except for the twist. The twist was a slightly older one. But yeah, I wrote that when I was in university studying music. But yeah, that's Catchpole's the name and making music and releasing it later on after fighting, or maybe during fighting, depending on how the schedule lines up, is the game.
I in so many ways I think the two worlds are similar. Being in a band and being a fighter, it's this kind of hectic lifestyle. It's hectic in different ways and in similar ways regarding certain things. But one thing, like you both need discipline for both, but one of them is a very different type of discipline. What did the people in your life who are the music people in your life, the people you made friends with through music and that, make
Hmm.
of kind of the lifestyle change that being an MMA fighter is?
Well, there was a bit there like we were still playing when I started. Um, it kind of made sense to them all. I think they were kind of like, yeah, John's like, of course he's going to do this. Like every time we get on the piss, he's like, let's put on gloves and spar. So it kind of makes sense that he's going to go pursue this and like do that. Um, to be honest with you, all incredibly supportive. Um, I even caught up with the bass player Archer a couple of weeks back, and he's now a qualified podiatrist. And I'm probably going to end up getting sponsored by him, just like because believe it or not, your feet take a lot. Beneath the from the waist down, you actually cop a lot. Yeah. You cop a lot in fighting. So having someone who is skilled in that realm is awesome. And that for me is an amazing thing to know that, excuse me, he he took his skills and we just, we were catching up organically and it just sort of came up. And I was like, bro, how about we do this? And like, I'll make some content for you and stuff like that. And it was like we hadn't spent 2 years not seeing each other. Cause that's the reality of me and Catchpole. Like we haven't seen each other in a while, but I know the boys and gal are still out there supporting me and watching from afar.
How many years has it been since Catchball played a show?
I think it has been 2 years. It was 2 years. We played at Brunswick Hotel in Brunswick Heads, New South Wales. And it was awesome. It was actually the first and only time Darcy has ever seen me. I remember he came. He came for that.
How was that?
Well, we weren't the mates that we are now. Apparently, he just rocked up, saw me, and was like, "Oh fuck, this guy's fucking sick." Like that's his. I'm not. That's his words. And then
Did he
yeah,
know
he
you
had
were
to.
playing?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He came. He came down
To
to see
watch.
that. Yeah.
Sorry, continue. And then what?
And that was it. And then afterwards, like for the next few weeks, he was like, "That's sick." And it's always like it's always been. So he always brings it up. He's like, "I don't know, like how you can't just go do that again. You need to figure out a way to do this and do that." And that's what I'm trying to do, trying to set myself up. So hopefully get some sponsors that want to help me out so I can spend more time doing the stuff I love. Not that I don't love fighting, but God, it'd be nice to be able to train and then come home and play some music or make some music.
State of the Australian music scene when it's like, what's easier, making it in a band or fist fighting people for a living? And John's like, it is fist fighting people for a living.
It is. It definitely is.
Uh,
If you're good at it. If you're good at it.
you just happen to be good at it.
You said it.
I didn't. I'm absolutely happy to have gone down such a music path. I wasn't expecting it, but I'm very happy to have.
Hmm.
Your bio reads on the stage or in the cage. What is that? What does that mean? And where did that come from?
I'm a performer through and through. When you show up to see me, you're going to see something fun. You're going to see something exciting. You're going to enjoy it. I'm going to be all you can look at on the stage or in the cage. Daddy Ravioli.
Is that a Jon Aiello original?
Yeah. Yeah.
I literally this morning I had a conversation with someone. We were talking about something else, and I was trying to explain MMA to them, not the sport in general, but a very specific aspect. And
Hmm.
I said, the cage is kind of like a stage. I actually used that like simile, and we hadn't booked this interview,
Sure.
so that's pretty funny that I literally today I used that to explain to someone who didn't really like to give them an idea of about it.
Hmm.
What are the comparables that you see?
Well, bro, what do you do with your band? You get into a room, you practice, you rehearse, you give thoughts. What's going to be better? Where do we do this? What's the timing on that? What's the transition? How do we get from here to here seamlessly? How do we go into the next song? How do we do it? What are we doing when we fight? How do we get from the stand up to the clinch, to the grappling, to the fucking submission? How do we chain this all together and how do we do it at this event? Like writing a set list is like what songs are going to pop off at what time? When do we give them a chill one? When do we set, where are we playing? What's the crowd? Is it Rick's Bar in the Valley? It's got to be all fucking nah, nah, nah. If we're playing at Brunswick Hotel, let's give them three blah blah, and then let's give them one sweet one that they can hold their misses and sway nicely to. This is it's all very it's methodical, it's thought out. If you're doing it the way I think you should do it. Like I don't leave anything up to chance. I look at everything when I fight and I make sure everything's done the right way. The way that I think will get the best result. And I had that approach through music as well.
Something that I think a lot of people do know you for. Especially you got to showcase it after your last fight. The voices, the impressions. You're a very funny man. Have you always been doing impressions? Were you always like a kid growing up? Could you do them? Because I can't do shit.
Yep, yep. Bro, I'm a theatre boy. I'm a theatre boy. I did the band after school, but in school it was before I finished. It was like, will I study theatre or will I study music? Those are the two things. Um, yeah, I was always running around. Like I was walking around the house doing the Billy Strut. But when I was younger, I used to impersonate fucking anyone and everyone. My parents used to like. I was like a party trick. They'd have people over. I come out, do John Lennon again. And like some 7-year-old kid be like, yeah, you must have explore reality, or fucking like random shit like that, or like do Stewie and Peter, fucking. It was a very common occurrence, and it's not not something that I've just picked up in the last few fights.
I won't go dance monkey dance for me. I
No,
won't
we'll do that off camera.
all right, I won't ask you to be yeah, do the thing. But
Yeah,
is there a voice that you have that is your favorite to do? Is your favorite impression?
well, it's got to be Connor because Connor just come, bro. Connor's it just comes out. Like I'll just be in mid conversation with someone, and like I can't. I'll say something cocky or stupid, and like I don't know. It happens all the time. It literally just happens all the time. So it's got to be my favorite. Like we'll be at training. Ask anyone, Conor McGregor or King Julian from Madagascar. Like, they're like the two. It's if it's not King Julian, it's Conor McGregor, and it'll be like I'll literally just be looking at one of my training partners, and I'll be like, "I bet your son buzz at parties, you mad backwards rat," or like some shit like that. Why don't you drink? Why don't you drink? I bet your son buzz at parties, you mad backwards rat. Shut your fucking mouth. Like I'll just whip them out in general conversation.
You're a man who's got a very strong media game, in my opinion. You're a great social follow, great YouTube channel as well to enjoy. I like the vlogs. Um, were you
Gas in the
all,
tank.
yeah, gas in the tank. Were you always so media minded?
Um, no, I wasn't, but I'm a creative for sure. So I think as I started running Darcy's account, for those who don't know, like I make all of Darcy's content. um, I sort of started being like, oh, I should probably start like because my whole thing was like, bro, you need to put yourself out there a bit more. People need to know you're here because trying to get to the UFC. And I realized as I started doing that more, I was like, I should probably start doing this for myself. So I did. And obviously, I am a lot more flamboyant and, for lack of a better word, oh, no, I can't say that. I won't say that. I'm fruity. I'm fruit. Yeah. I'm fruity, as Big Ben Johnston would call me. Um, So I just have a lot of fun with it. I have a lot of fun with it. And I'm creative. I have ideas. So I think like, oh, this would be cool. And some might land, some might not. But I think the more you put yourself out there, you're creating like an online resume. So people will go there and look. And, when you ask for sponsors and stuff like that and say, hey, I would love for you to sponsor me. I'll make content for you. And then they can go and see like, oh, this guy's actually he just makes content for himself, but also like you can see he makes content for Musashi and cage kit and fanware and replenish electrolytes. Um, they'll go awesome. This is a guy that we can get behind. And guess what? It only matters if you win. And what do? I fucking win.
Musashi's a good sponsor, dude. That's a I don't know
You
what
know
the
what,
definition of blue chip sponsor is, but that's a good one. That's a solid one.
bro? And Hal Titmarsh, the guy who is he's the one I speak to with all the stuff, and he's the one who looks after me with Musashi. Guy gave me a chance after my first fight. Like, I hadn't even had a win. They just straight away were like, yeah, you seem like a nice guy. My content game was nowhere near as strong back then. They were just like, you seem like a good guy. Here's some stuff. We'll just keep topping you up. And then they brought me on as part of their ambassador program, gave me the code and said, you get an allowance every 3 months and now I don't have to pay for supplements. And a huge help. Yeah, very grateful to Musashi and Hal Titmarsh for backing me when they really had no reason to. I'm just a confident kid who was asking. Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
You talk about Ben Johnston. Just mention him there. We've talked about the vlogs a little bit earlier. I think it's the most recent one. It might be the one before that. There's some vlog where you pull out the camera and he's like saying hello to everyone. Then he sees you have the camera out, and you can see just him die like a little bit on the inside. How does he go with you pulling a camera out all the time?
He's pretty cool with it now. I think he's pretty cool. I think he knows, oh, that's Fruity John. He's trying to get the boys out there. He's making a an online journal of all this stuff that we're going through as our careers progress, and it'll be a good callback in a few years. And at the end of the day, I'm promoting the place that I call home in TFC, and I think he knows that I have all the respect and love for that man in the world. So I don't think I think he just gets awkward. He's like, I don't know what to do. You're filming me. So you'll probably notice Ben's not in the vlogs much.
I like Ben in the
'Cause
vlog.
I love Ben in the vlog too. One of my favorite ones is the Samoan limo.
I was just about to bring up the Samoan limo.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Yeah, go on. He's like, go on, John, get in. No, you want to? I'm just like, fuck yeah. I'm in Ben's car. Sick. I think yeah, I think even since the last fight, I think he's understanding more and more that like I'm a very big team player. Like I don't need to make these. No one's paying me for these vlogs. I'm not making any money off it. I'm literally just doing it because I love my mates, I love my team, and I love this life that I'm living. So I like we might as well put something out there for if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Who cares? If we get 200 views, we get none. I like the video, and I made my mates laugh when I showed them it. So
I like on one of the videos, I was like, more Nate Law. And then the next video started with like a zoom in on Nate Law's ball sack. And I was like, less Nate Law, please.
yeah, well, you get what you ask for, mate.
Dude, Nate Law jump scare.
Nah, he's got some big, beautiful balls, that man, the goose.
Did you knock someone over in a wheelchair when you were sparring recently?
She wasn't in a wheelchair. That's Chloe Marie Henry. She is an amateur fighter. Um, I didn't knock her over. Logan got concussed by the gust of one of my shots that didn't land, ran backwards, thought he was going to hit the wall. He thought he could take an 8 count, but I told him you can't see it, but I'm telling him as it's happening, you don't get a standing 8 count, bro. This isn't Muay Thai. And he's just like, oh, I'm rocked, and flies over onto Chloe, takes her out, and then whacks his head onto the steel beam at the back. But she wasn't in a wheelchair. He put her in one afterwards, but she wasn't in it at the time of filming.
Just going to say now she is in a wheelchair.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, she'll never fight again.
Damn, bro. You're out here ending careers.
I be TKOing 3 people at once, bro. There was a spectator that saw it happen. They had a heart attack.
You mean a witness?
Yeah.
There was.
Well, yeah, I guess to murder, yeah, to a crime, attempted
yeah.
grievous bodily harm. GBH is the fellas at the pokies call it.
Yeah. They call it. Maybe that's the new nickname. Jon GBH.
Jon GBH Aiello.
Or how about Jon HGH?
Oh, we could do that.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Whoa. Whoa. Holy shit.
You didn't see nothing, lad. You didn't see nothing, lad, yeah?
Sponsor.
Yeah, I know, right? It's fucking gross.
That's I don't know. There's nothing wrong with being a woolly man.
Nah, I'm not a woolly man usually. Just in camp, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Can't be having sex. You got to keep your legs nice and strong, full of juice. Keep your nuts nice and full, so you're fucking ready to explode on fire.
And now that we've talked about that, tell me about Perry Smith.
Petty, Mike Petty. Yeah. What do you want to know about Perry?
Well, tell me about the man. This is the second time you've been set to fight him. Following did he step in on short notice and then stepped out?
No, he injured. He was in from the jump for the Logan fight. He injured his hand. Um, I think there was just like honestly a bit of miscommunication between him and his coaches. I think he was like, "I have fucked my hand. I can't fight John," and they were like, "Nah, mate, it's fight week. You'll be all right. Just ice it. Keep it cool." And I think it got to like the Wednesday night when they were meant to be flying out the Thursday morning, and he basically just like said to them, "Guys, this hand is still fucked. I've not hit pads. I've not done anything all week. I know this because I spoke to him. Perry's a G. I do. I really like Perry. Unfortunately, I really like Perry. Because yeah, I got the call on Thursday about midday. Was like fucking ready to get in the bath and just get it over with. So I get in there and get this fight on the way. Oh, Baloo. Hey.
Tell me about the cat in the background. Whoa, it's got a mustache.
Yeah. Um, we're talking about Petty. Um, but yeah, he couldn't make the fight. Then I messaged him, was like, "Hey, bro, I hope you're all good." Like, I was obviously devastated because it's probably the hardest camp in my life, to be totally honest with you. There's probably a lot of things are indicating. I've told you about what was going on. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have been fighting anyway. So kind of like it felt like divine intervention that happened. Um, but yeah, I lost that one. Then got AJ in for the weeks following. Um, and I'd heard that Perry was probably only going to have one more amateur before he went pro, but they were kind of looking at a pro debut. If we had to prove Tapology right, because they put it down as the first pro fight for both of us originally. Um, so yeah, we had to make that a reality. I asked if he was cool. We spoke, and he was like, "Oh, I think I want to fight in Perth because like some of my mates are, or whatever." And I was like, "All right, bro. Well, like no stress. Just let me know because I'd like to fight on the Goldie. I'd like to make my pro debut, and I feel like it would be a sick fight because yeah, we're both like pressure boxing wrestlers. Is kind of so like kind of similar to Volk and Chad Mendez. Um, just a bit of a scrap, and I have a lot of respect for Perry. You know, like he seems like a great guy. He really does. I like the way he carries himself. He keeps himself to himself, but you can tell he's committed very heavily to this. This is his. He's like me. It's like this is the only option, man. If I'm going to be in this, I'm going to be the best. Just sucks I'm going to have to put him, put him down for one.
You kind of talked about his style there. You guys kind of do similar things.
Mhm.
What do you think you've fought anyone like him before?
No, he's the best fighter I've ever fought. Besides Jake Piper.
What like when you fight a guy and if you feel you've got a similar style to them, like
Mm.
what does that even begin to create in terms of a matchup? Like how do you approach that? If a guy's good at what you do good, how do you even begin to approach a matchup like that?
So here's the way I look at it. He's the first guy I've fought who plays the game. Like he doesn't do weird shit. He doesn't do unexpected stuff. He does the fundamentals. If you put me in there with someone who does the fundamentals, I will beat them because I do the fundamentals better than anyone. These other fights I've had to sort of like, zigzag and fucking throw weird shit to get into certain positions because I don't know what's coming back at me. When you throw really good, 1-2s, low leg kicks, good, nice like switch kicks and stuff like that, when you throw all that stuff and it becomes the game, like an actual chess game of like who can do the technical stuff better, it comes down to like who can do it faster, who can do it stronger, who can do it more powerfully, who has better physicality, who has better cardio, comes down to that sort of stuff. And I'm looking forward to proving that I'm that guy. Like I am the guy with all of those things.
Uh, John, I really do appreciate the time. It is awesome to speak with you. You mentioned there about even not there, but the last answer you talked about You think it's unfortunate you're going to have to put him down. Is there a prediction for this fight?
Yes, there is. Late second, TKO. Um, I don't think, as much as I like Perry, I don't think he's ready for the pace I'm going to push. And I want to get into specifics so badly, but I think, yeah, I don't think people realize that there's an Australian Marab out here.
How is the gas tank?
Ask anyone I train with. I'm the motherfucker. I'm the guy that between rounds, Darcy's saying, run around the cage. It's too like you're fine. You're chilling. You need to keep your heart rate up. Ask Nate Law. Drop people, drop people with body shots, never with headshots, and then start like shadow boxing and doing sprawls and shit. That's like not to toot my own horn, but the only reason I have that is because of how much work I put in. I am a fucking machine, and I know that.
Have you dropped Nate Law?
Fuck no. Are you kidding me?
If that's the claim, I could probably FaceTime him right now. We can.
Bro, Nate slept me 2 weeks ago.
In what way?
Like with a left cross. I got too
You got.
keen to shift in off orthodox, and he just cracked me with a left cross. And I was out.
That's not good. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I mean, like, you know, it wasn't sick, but you know, I'm fully joking. I can't do this. I can't do this. Nate's never hurt me.
I
Nate
was gonna
loves me.
say, should
I
you
mean,
be
no.
fighting in a
Yeah,
fucking
I
two
know.
weeks?
I know. I'm just thinking like, oh fuck, this will be funny for Nate, but like then he'd be like, don't fucking tell people I knock you out. We got to run. We run back
Well, I'm
from that.
gonna say I'm
Nate,
gonna get a text from Robin O'Neill being like, "What the hell is going on?"
what are you doing?
I'm definitely gonna get a text
Oh
now that
yeah.
you've said that, bro. What the hell?
No, sorry, mate.
You mentioned him a little bit just before. The man Darcy Vendy. You
Yes.
guys are best buds, two peas in a pod. How is it now to be making your pro debut? You were very happy to be having your last amateur fight on the same card that he was defending his title. How has he been now that you're going pro? Is he like a proud dad?
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's crazy because like this has already been the best camp I've ever had, and he's got like as we've kind of gone back to the old days. Like he's running the show. Ben's obviously like facilitating it and very much involved in it and given. Well, it's cool just like having them both just go like, this is what he's doing. This is what he's doing. But like Darcy, obviously, like I speak to him more than anyone, and he's like, yeah, he's there's no one who believes in me more than that guy. I don't think, and I think that's because he sees how hard I work and how much effort I put into this shit. So not shit stuff, things, fighting. Yeah.
Finally, for me, John, it's kind of like two questions, but they're the same question, just one word changes. I do really appreciate you giving me the time. Um, what are your favorite venues to play music in?
Oh, that's a crazy one. Definitely Brunswick Hotel in New South Wales. That's an amazing venue. Um, Definitely not Rick's Bar in Brisbane. I think there's one called the Black Bear Lodge in Brisbane. I can't remember. I think we played there once and it was fucking great. It was an awesome energy. Um, but like, yeah, those are probably my two favorites. Those are probably my two favorites.
Did you ever
And by
play
the
any
way,
shows in Melbourne?
no, we never toured. We never toured. It was yeah,
Just New South Wales and Queensland.
yeah, and like oh, Kingscliff Hotel.
What were you going to say? You said, by the way, and then I interrupted you.
Yeah, I was going to say, by the way, because I didn't get to say before I answered your question, you're more than welcome for your time, man. I've got all the time in the world for you, Jolly Ollie.
Oh, thank you very much. I just asked you what your favorite venues are to play music in. What are your favorite venues to fight in?
Mate, Southport Sharks. It's the only place. It's the only place you'll catch these guns firing, you know what I mean? Fucking boom, boom, boom. Nah, in all seriousness, I've fought in three venues. I fought at a school on Coastal Combat. Didn't love that. And then I fought at the Carrara Stadium. That is the sickest place. That was my first win. And I remembered, like, I was talking to Cam about it the other day. That was like the energy in that place it's sick. It feels like you're fighting in an arena. So I think that would be my favorite venue, but I don't know if they're ever going back there, sadly.
When
But then
when was
then
that?
I'm
When did they do Carrara Stadium?
2022.
That'd be
I think they
mid.
did three.
So that was the Jack fight.
Yeah, Jack Edmonds.
That's mad. I didn't know they did that venue.
Yeah, but it was I think they found it hard to fill it. I think they like it's a huge venue. You got to have fucking, you know, Josh Kuhn, Shannon Ross, and Brenton Mumford all fighting back to back to back to get a decent enough crowd there to, make your money back.
That's fair.
But one day, Daddy Ravioli's defending his bantamweight title. You never know. Against Perry Smith, the rematch.
And where's he doing that?
Probably at Carrara Stadium because I'll be selling enough tickets by then, hopefully.
Jon Aiello, I thank you so much for the time. It's an absolute pleasure to speak to you. What is on for you now between now and fight day?
Now fight day, what's Monday, the week before fight week. Be a good boy, do all my training, tick all the boxes, do the extras, uh, keep the diet, in check. Don't do anything silly. Avoid sex, so my legs are, full of juice, like I said.
Sure, that's why.
Mate, honestly, there's no blokes that are keen around here. You know what I mean? They call me Fighting Freddy. Um, that's all it is, bro. Like just tuning it up. Continuing my work because I'll probably take a week off work. Finalize some stuff for some sponsors and keep kicking and ripping. And then, yeah, make weight. Get on with it.
Punch on.
Punch on. Punch on. We said at the same time.
Another similarity. Mentioning work actually reminds me, I did want to ask you about this. You
Hmm.
mentioned it earlier in this interview. You work the media account, and I'm assuming just generally at like an aged care, not aged care place, because that implies old people, like a childcare
Yep.
place.
Yes. Yes.
How does that like, I think fighting has a reputation to it. I think it's like can be a really hardcore reputation, and not all
Mhm.
fighters are like that. Like, there are some people who are like hard in the paint and all that type of thing.
Mm.
And there are
Mm.
people who aren't hard in the paint, but it is a
Mhm.
difficult sport. It definitely is, bit blood and guts, a bit harder to watch than like basketball.
Mhm.
How did that go? Like, how was the job when they found out you were a fighter? How were the parents when they found out that you were a fighter? Do you tell the kids I punch people in the head?
Well, believe it or not, I was like kind of headhunted for the job from the podcast. I like made some content and the owner of the kindy, she saw Darcy's content with me in it and was like, he seems funny and cool. Messaged Darcy about it. And then Darcy asked me, would I be interested? And I was like, well, yeah, chuck her my number. And we met up and she was like, yeah, I love your stuff. Like, and it's not, you get to know me and you realize I'm a pretty loving person. Like, I'm actually a very, very caring, kind person. Like, not to fucking sound like a big fucking, yeah, how good am I? But I'm not a violent or angry person. I'm pretty like I love kids. Like I actually really love kids. I love teaching kids at TFC. Um, I'm not really like involved with the kids much. I just do the media and marketing and get other people to film moments at the kindy and then I edit together stuff and put it up. But yeah, and I'm really passionate about experiential learning, which is what junior campus early learning embodies, which is the whole idea that like not every child is suited to one way of being educated. There are many ways to educate different types of children. And being a kid who had ADHD and ran around and got told that he had too much energy and that he needed to settle down all the time, like seeing that there's a place that doesn't discourage that, it goes, how do I reach these kids? You know? Um, so yeah, it's something that sits very close to my heart, and that's no one. I don't think anyone who works there is. They're all very like, yeah, John's fighting in a couple of weeks. Like, oh, that's cool, awesome. You ready? You know, how are you feeling? Stupid questions, but they're very supportive. And I haven't heard a parent say, I don't like the idea that he punches on and, you know, he makes videos, you know, for the Instagram. You'd be a fuckwit if you had a problem with that.
Jon Aiello, I thank you so much for the time. Best of luck in the fight. And thank you so much. I hope we do this again soon.
Hope we do it again. Don't need luck. Got a plan, brother.